Hi, so it's another episode from Time-With-Flora, and you can see our tree in the background. So it's a festive season, and I'm really, really happy to have my guest in the house with me today. Big smiles all around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, we're going to have some fun. We are talking about, well, what happens during times like this. We gather as families, friends, we come together, we laugh, and we eat, right?
Yeah.
Those are,
I mean,
this is Nigeria. These are the predominant things that we do. And then we also laugh as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So we are going to be talking to people that are individuals that are very much in that space. And apart from that, we're going to be making some really good entertainment as well, hopefully for you guys. So who do I have in the house with me today? Starting from my right, and he'll tell you a little bit about himself. Paige, just go for it. Tell the guys who you are. And what you do.
Hello, my name is Ogenefedro Omu. That's what they call me in my village. But I call myself Phage. That's spelled Phage in capital letters. Pronounce my name in capital letters, please.
Yeah.
I'm a stand-up comedian, a young Nigerian stand-up comedian. I also host events as an MC, and I've tried my hands on acting. But that's the story for another day.
Don't worry, you're
Well,
still young,
primarily-
so you have time.
Exactly. So, well, primarily, I'm a stand-up comedian, and I make people laugh for a living. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What's the emphasis about the young anyway?
so they'll know that I'm here for a long time.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Amen to
And
that.
he's not a lazy young man.
No,
Exactly.
not
He's
at
not a lazy
all,
youth.
not at all. And to my left, SACO.
Okay, I'm a young master saver. Okay, my name is SACO, SACO. I'm called the company, the sense of humor. I used referred to as a senior advocate of comedy. I'm going to tell you more about myself in the course of the event. But I'm master of ceremonies, entertainment entrepreneur. I also raise more role models to people in the entertainment industry. And that's what basically I've been doing for the past 2-3 years. Focus on raising role models.
Fantastic. We'll talk about that later.
Yes,
Later. And the other lady in the fabulous jacket.
Yes,
Love
thank
the hair,
you.
love the jewelry.
Thank you.
Remi, tell us more about yourself.
Okay, my name is Remi Adekoya, and I run a company called Meat Boss. I'm your boss in the meat place, really, because I tell you the right meat to eat, It's actually good to eat healthy. Our focus is to ensure that what you take in the meat area is right, because we like people to be around for a long time. Nigeria is too much fun, so we supply meat to families, to restaurants, and for the Owambes, that will be happening, consecutively. This Christmas season, we're there for you, and at the end of the day, everybody is happy. So that's who we are. You are Lakpata International.
Lovely, I love that. So obviously, this is typically the time of the year for guys like you. I know you work all year round, but I know that this particular season is...
It becomes more tasking
Yeah.
and more demanding.
Yeah. So what have you got looking forward to for this period? What typically are the kind of things that you tend to do, Sako?
For December period, I do a lot of corporate events, end of year parties, I do concerts, and also I have a giveaway, or I call it annual thing that I do for teenagers, where I grew up in K2. It's called Teens Hangout, where I have conversations with them, bring them together, share my story. Because sometimes it's one thing to tell people how your story, but tell them where you grew up from. They can basically say this is where this man grew up from. It's not that he grew up from a big home or he had a lot of money. He was someone that also ran through the street, fetched water on the street, and now he's doing things outside the country. So I wanted to start from there, because if you're sharing your story and other people know your story, what about the people
Around you.
around you?
Yeah.
For me, that's a way of giving back, and then I give them food also. But beyond the food, because I use the food to bring them close, but I bring in other experts. I bring someone like Mr. Placeful, where I bring teenagers, people that are young also, that could share their story. And I also share my story on how I worked, because I worked as a waiter on that same street in K2
Wow.
for over 5 years. Because when I started comedy, I was all over. I was very hyperactive. I was a serious sanguine. Any event I go, I walk down the street, go up down to wedding receptions and go meet them. I'm a young comedian. I want to crack joke. Sometimes they give me the opportunity. Sometimes they even give me the platform, and I mess it up because I don't know the right joke to crack to the right audience. I've learned audience analysis. I had to go to school to learn those things. even also learning the job. So I go back there every December to every last Saturday or last one of either Saturday. A day that is also very flexible for other people to come share story.
Yeah.
And then the last time we had over 100 people that we fed, and for me, that's a way of giving back.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah,
trusting, to take it to other places, but at least so that these people can say, yes, I know this person.
Yes.
Can always refer.
Yes.
So that's basically what I'm doing.
Back to the community.
Walk, spend time with family. My wife has instructed that we do. We go. Yeah, usually.
I like that. Instructed.
Yes, my wife has instructed. So as instructed that we do the family tree together. She says we're going to go shop together with the children and then come and arrange. She wants us to have that memorable, because sometimes we just have one tree that we bring out every year, from the store. But this time she wants us to stop. She's instructed, but I'm the one paying for the
for the instruction.
Yes.
Delegation of absolutely.
So that's what I'm looking forward to, and my children. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant! You talked about the whole giving back, and there's a big aspect of mentoring there that I'm hearing.
Yes.
And I was reading a really interesting article about how the journey of the comedy industry has really evolved in the last 25 years, starting with Alibaba to really make it a big sort of industry. I think it's third in line now within the entertainment space to movies and music, which is just amazing. So with that whole mentoring thing, and I know that you're quite young in the industry, how important from your perspective is mentoring to somebody coming into this space? Because from what I read, it really is emphasized, this whole aspect of mentoring young comics. Yeah.
Well, it's like that with almost every industry. There's some form of hand-holding that's involved. You can't, if you're new in a business space, there are certain places you can't go to or certain opportunities you can't get without someone helping you get those opportunities or know how to handle those opportunities in the first place. I'm thankful to have very, very, very passionate mentors, one of which is SACO. So
brilliant.
I've been doing comedy for not up to 2 years, and the platforms I've performed on, or the places I've gotten to, or the gigs I've done, if I was doing it on my own, I would probably still be cracking jokes in my shower or something. But your mentor gives you the opportunity to go to these places, so you can assess your growth, and you're growing, and you're seeing that where you were 2 years ago is not where you are now. And that's what mentors give you. So it's like hand holding. Let me guide you on this journey through, and it helps you move through a place farther and faster because they have gone through that journey. So they will make sure or try to ensure that you don't make the mistakes they have made. So it's easier for you. Your growth process is somewhat quicker in that space. So mentorship is a very big plus. It's a very in my industry, it's a very big plus.
I mean, it was really well emphasized, I have to say, because I was even fascinated by the whole thing about how Alibaba was a mentor to AY and Basketmouth. It sounds like it's a big enabler. Within the industry, and you're absolutely right within most, but I think it's quite peculiar and particular to this particular space. And so Remi, you come from banking. You're an ex-banker. Who has ventured into Meat Boss, and also I know you do the jewelry bit, but particular obviously about the Meat Boss thing. When you were looking to make that transition, what role did mentoring or even coaching play in allowing you to be bold enough to step out?
Mentoring maybe not, coaching maybe yes. Because when you've worked in the corporate space, you already learn to do things in certain ways. So you're not starting from, being a complete novice. For instance, you're starting your business with a business plan, for instance, because you know that without a business plan, I mean, you'll probably still be scrambling and be thinking, but, a thoroughly written business plan, you can plan and you can say, I can begin to make this sales or this amount of sales, per month and all of that. And that can determine how much you want to invest in the business, how you want to start. You want to start small, you want to start big, and all of that. So, I left banking, but I still maintained, some of my relationships, especially the key ones, the big ones, the people who were coaching me then, even while I was in banking. And so I keep learning and unlearning. And so when I was going to also do the transition, I also took up some people who were already in the, entrepreneurship industry, so that, because corporate business is completely different from being an entrepreneur, so I actually had to also pick. So now I got people to coach me, and because they were not exactly in my industry, so that's why I'm not saying mentoring. That's what I'm saying, maybe not mentoring, but they were coaching me generally to say, okay, generally this is how to do it, and so I applied it, and it's worked a great deal.
Yeah. You holding legacy above all achievements.
Yes.
It was such a profound statement. What do you mean by that?
I said to you today, I didn't have the privilege of meeting someone like Awolowo. I didn't get the privilege of meeting some people, and then you mentioned their names. I didn't have the privilege of meeting Mandela, but you mentioned their names, and it kind of looks as if you met them before because of the things that they've done. And then just by Googling their name, you can find that you can know about them, and that's the life I want to live. I beyond money, beyond the fact that I had money, beyond the fact that I had children, beyond the fact that, I want people to remember me, that I was able to do these things for these persons and do this thing for the nation. And that's where I'm going to. I'm going beyond entertainment, going to nations, that even nations will get to. I didn't meet Michael Jackson, but if in spite of some vices that he had more values than even the vice.
Yes.
Yes. So they mentioned, so that's the level where I am. I feel that I could help. And I say to you, that's I don't say this everywhere. I have people that come to meet me and say they want me to mentor them, but when I grew older and in the mentorship scheme, I realized that sometimes you need to even reach out to proteges, especially the ones doing well, and say to you that you see the sign that they will do well if they're well positioned and well guided. And that's why I reached out to him.
Oh, you did.
I actually reached out to him.
Interesting.
Yes, I did. I reached out to him 2 years ago or last year. I saw that he was I'd seen him perform, and I said to myself, if I can mentor this guy, he will do very well. I've seen, the truth is he's one out of many that people usually reach out to me, but I say no, I can reach out to people to help you, because some people do not even have the capacity. They feel that, they see and they feel, can I meet this person? Can I talk to this person? So I reached out to him and I said, if you do this thing very well, well, it took people 5 years to get, but it took people 10 years to get. When you're well coached and mentored, you get it right in 2 years.
Wow. How humbling is that? Respect.
Thank you.
How was that for you when he reached out? Just to continue the story from your perspective.
It was very humbling, but at the same time it was an indication that I was in the right direction. Because
affirmation.
Yes, it was. Yes, that's what I was going for.
Nice one.
So it was. I'd been doing crack. It's not crack joke. I was doing it, but it didn't seem like much was coming out of it. But I'd been getting remarks from different people. So, but by the time somebody who's a light in your industry, or someone who is big in your industry reaches out to you, you know that this thing you're doing, you better take it serious. And you can see that there are results in the person's life. So some people's parents tell them, follow person with Sabi road. So it became, at that point, I knew that, okay, I'm in the right path. If I follow the instructions I'm getting and follow like the lifestyle I'm seeing these people live, I would get similar results or even greater results.
For sure.
I'm in the right space.
Now you're still young.
Exactly.
Yes.
We have to emphasize it. We're taking the lead.
Very young.
Young.
And I noted in your profile you're actually a HR practitioner.
I have the certificate.
Wow.
You go school for that one.
I know you're not. I know you're not practicing, but obviously
practicing license to practice HR in Nigeria. But for you to practice HR, you need to get a job. But I've not gotten a job for the last 2 years. But it's fine.
Did you have that comic streak in you at the time you were pursuing that?
I've always
as a
been.
course?
I've always been, no, let me not say talkative, but I used to talk a lot as a child. I'm the last child in my family, so I'm the one that, when it was time for amebo, I was the one that, so everybody would go and come back. But I enjoyed watching the news as a child. I enjoyed reading newspapers. So I was just taking a lot of information, and my family members called me professor because I was always talking. And at a point, I started seeing people making people laugh on TV. At that time, Benga Adenka had a show on TV he was doing. T had a show on, that he was doing. I was in primary school then. And I saw these people. I was like, I can do this thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it as anything important. So years passed. I always knew that I'd love to talk to a crowd. So I started doing other things. I got into public speaking, got into debating in secondary school. Let me add, I was a debate champion, national debate champion. Yes, national debate champion in secondary school.
Okay.
Wow.
And I still continued debating in university, but I tried comedy. I failed.
Yeah.
In university, I tried to make people laugh. It didn't go
They
well.
didn't laugh.
Because people forget this thing that every stand-up comedian is a funny person, but not every funny person is a stand-up comedian.
Yes.
So I was making people, we were just my guys will laugh, but I couldn't translate that to making a crowd laugh. So I gave up on that dream for a while. Then somewhere along the line, it just came up again, and the opportunity presented itself, and I made a reasonable amount of people laugh. I was like, okay, let's continue from there.
And here
we are today on the show.
Yeah.
Talking
A young
about
man.
Almost not bearing his government's name again.
Exactly.
The government name has been put
Has
aside.
been put aside for now.
now.
Because the point will come where it
Yeah,
has to
absolutely.
come back.
Absolutely. Are you actually on Wikipedia? Have you set up your page on Wikipedia?
Well, I tell you, I'm working something on that. I'll tell you on because I have my PR person on my neck. To do something on that.
Yeah. This whole thing of, and I made the comment to you before, SACO. I'm really impressed by how strategic you are being with what you do. Yes, you started as a comic, but even when I got your bio and I was reading it, I thought, this guy does not want to define himself as a comic. He is very clear about the direction that he's going in. And that's certainly learning for me as well, having sort of gotten into the space and it's, the question is, okay, so where are you going with this? And I guess I'll throw that to you really, because how long is it since you've been a banker? Since you left banking?
Okay, that's been like 6 years.
Yeah. Wow. So where are you going? Because I know you've got the meat boss thing, and you've got the jury thing, and one thing in Nigeria that I do recognize is that just generally we're very good at getting into lots of stuff, right? But it's the whole packaging thing sometimes that we miss the plot a bit, and I speak for myself as well. So how are you sort of carving your own path and what you want to be recognized or known for? That's the legacy piece as well. So how is it working for you?
Yes, for me, for Meat Boss, the way it's working for me, like I said, my main focus is a healthy aspect of it. So, I mean, I love the corporate parties that would come to us and buy, but needless to say, they're not really my focus. Eventually, they're individuals. Now, why I'm going after the corporate also is that, they're going to be passing those things to individuals. So I'm expecting those individuals to get back to us. And when they get back to us and they start feeding healthy, I just want Meat Boss to be known for, giving you the right type of meat. And then I want you also to be able to see the difference, because I tell people, when we sign up, let's say a client, you become our client. I say, you've had an experience over years. If you can just be stable with us, maybe for like 3 months, for instance, I want you to be able to tell me that you saw a difference in the taste of your meat, you saw a difference in the texture, you saw a difference even in the color of your meat, what you get from us. And so because you've seen that difference, even wellness, wellness at times comes from even seeing the meal. You see, yes, you're happy because, this thing just seems right to you. It just looks right. And then by the time you consume, even if you have a cook, you hear your cook telling you, Madam, where did you get this meat from?
Yeah.
Because, you know, the tenderness is cooking faster because it's not too tough. You know, it's the right age, it has the right nutrients, you know, all of those things. So, I mean, that's where we want to end up, you know, that people are able to say,
distinguish your brand.
yes, you know, you're having a wedding party of 50 people and a wedding party of 200 people. There's a big difference because with the 200 people, there's enough, you know, paparazzi of pictures that more people will laugh at the jokes.
Yes.
More people will be happy. You know, it's, you know, there's just more connection in the more than in the few. And it's when the life expectancy increases and is improved on that we're happier. We're not even afraid that, oh, this was going to happen, you know, because of what we eat. The body is contending with so many other things. Traffic, the weather, stress, work stress. It's a major problem. The roads, you understand, but governments.
Yeah.
So let's be our own government.
Yeah.
Did you say the road? Did you say the road now?
Yes, sir.
You know, this is the only country where you choose the portal you want to enter.
Yes.
You do it by yourself.
You have to choose it, whether it's this size or this size.
Because
yes, because all sizes are on the road.
I'm telling you.
All
Sometimes you
sizes.
cannot even get to it and your engine just vanish inside the road.
Yeah. I saw a vehicle and the vehicle had to be there for like 2 days. Because of the size of the portal, the guy entered it and it hung there. He could do, that was the end.
So you choose by yourself.
You understand? So, you know, let me choose it.
Good stuff. I like that actually. That was, you're really on the podium right there. So SACO, here's something for you. Well, both of you really. So women in comedy, that has been something that has evolved maybe in the last 10 years or so. I mean, the men have been running the show for
a long
much
time.
longer. So how are the ladies doing? How are the ladies doing?
I said to you, I think I think we need more ladies coming to the industry.
Yeah.
Yes, over 10 years, over 15 years, we had a lady called Mandy. Mandy has been amazing, but you know how it is. It takes a lot of more work for ladies to get recognized in the comedy industry. Yeah, in the entertainment industry, they're amazing. You know, but in the comedy industry, you need to come up beyond what, you know, beyond the physique, beyond a guy can come with a short makeup. But you know, the lady needs, when she comes and then she opens her mouth and everyone. So Mandy started, you know, she's a legend in the entertainment industry. Then we had Lekbashos Bossa, we had Princess, and they had Ellen Paul. Who else again did we have? So lately we started having some ladies now, but you know, they're getting the ground, but they've not emerged. They've not emerged very well. So I think they could. I tell you, the person is a lawyer. She's doing amazing. She's into politics. I think she has other things she's doing, but you know, bringing in the Lekbashos, talking about herself, and then making a lot of sense. So I feel like more ladies. We need more ladies.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it stems down from a cultural issue. Because in this part of the world, women are seen to do certain things and not certain things. So the acceptance of women in the industry is not... Comedians can accept women in the industry. Like male comedians can accept female comedians in the industry. It's now the audience, the people you're meant to...
Now we will one laugh.
Yes.
There are times when women climb on stage and the reaction before she gets to even talk... Sometimes they will calm down and listen to her, but other times, and then there's the issue of, I mean, most people laugh at night, not in the afternoon, because everybody's going to work in the afternoon. So a lady keeping late nights in this part of the world is another issue.
Culture.
So there's a cultural dynamic to it, but I know a number of young female comedians who are exceptional at their work.
Yeah.
I have one friend, Shai. She's also a radio presenter, but she does comedy on the side.
Yeah.
And the reception for her, she gets a good reception once in a while, but she would rather pursue that radio presenter part more because that's more profitable to her and that's safer for her.
Yeah.
And then when she has the time, she'll do the comedy. So.
Interesting.
I think Ellen Paul too is doing...
Ellen Paul, yes.
Ellen Paul is doing amazing.
She's crazy.
And she's an academic as well.
Yeah.
She has a PhD.
Dr. Ellen Paul.
And she also has a theater.
She has a theater group.
Wow.
And also a school. She has a school, Ellen Paul School. Yeah, she does.
So she's got lots of options basically.
But the comedy or the entertainment side brings more funds and
you know that there I used to have this view with regards to comedy that you had to just be funny, that there was really no work to it. This was years ago. I used to have it was years ago that, and I think I was saying it to you earlier, it was years ago that perception changed. I think I was watching, I think it was a documentary or an interview that Chris Rock was giving.
Okay.
And what it revealed was that basically this guy he didn't necessarily start out as being very funny. He was okay, but he wasn't, he didn't have
wasn't
that
a
flair
rib
like
cracking
Eddie Murphy type
okay.
of thing. But what he had was discipline to work at his craft.
Work ethic.
He had discipline to work at it, and it is that carried him to be as successful as he has been today, and he continues to be so.
Yes,
and so my question is, with regards to comics and so on and so forth, in Nigeria, do we understand that? Do we understand that actually it takes work to remain, really at the forefront of this industry, as you would in any industry, really?
It does. It takes a
Because
lot
I've
of
seen
work.
and these are my words, I've seen some lazy comics.
Yes.
But I'm saying that. You're not saying that.
No. It happens. I've seen it work. Even in anything you're doing, if you will remain relevant, you must be working.
Yeah.
And there must be something to say that, 4 years ago, you can compare. I had the privilege of anchoring something for you 4 years or over 4 years now.
Yes.
Your parents' wedding anniversary. And now there have been a lot of changes. It's a lot of work. I had to go to school to learn presentation skills. I had to go to public speaking school, Speakers Academy, to learn how I could speak more. For the first word I need to say when I get on stage, audience analysis, how to learn those things. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Some jokes are here today that we say in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It took us 3 years to work on the jokes.
Wow.
Yes, it took us. My daughter is 5 years old now, and I made a joke of when my wife was pregnant to when she had her child. And now to how old she is, right? She's 5. She's going to be 6 in February.
Yeah.
I crack a joke about her delivery, about where we're supposed to have her. And then I turned the experience that would have made me feel bad to making money. So it's how you see it's a lot. I have a joke I'm working on right now on Tom Mainland, and I'm working, every time I'm saying it, I'm adding something to it. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You can't just say a joke and then, I said to you, you meet someone for the first time and you expect the person to laugh. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
I met it for the first time and it took a lot, even though, yes, I was recommended by somebody, but I needed to also bring in my A game
absolutely.
to get.
Absolutely.
So,
I the reason why I used that term, lazy, was that classic example, I think it was a corporate event, and we had a comedian who we'd used before, but this time around he came with a protege.
Yes.
But all that individual did was just repeat the same jokes that the guy that brought him had done, but just in his own way. But it sounded exactly the same. There was nothing. I think 80% were the jokes that this guy had already shared with us.
Okay.
All right, and maybe 20% was just some original stuff from him. And I thought, this guy was really lazy. He could have. He's clearly not investing time to really, own his craft. But anyway, really interesting thoughts that you've given there. Yeah. Social media. How is social media really ramping things up for comedians these days?
Well, it's a blessing. Let me put it that way, because there are people who it has created other sectors in the comedy industry. So I when I said I'm a stand-up comedian, because that's what I'm comfortable doing, going on stage, holding a microphone, making a crowd laugh.
Yeah.
There are some people who can't do that, but are still comedians. They take their phones or take a camera, make a video, make people laugh, put the video on Instagram and make people laugh.
Yes.
That is their own niche. They would not come, but there are some people who are able to do both.
Yes.
There are people who can just do one.
Yeah.
And for a comic like me, by the time if I go for an event or a show, how do I make people know I'm going for a particular show? It's by promoting on my social media. How do I make people know that this is what I even do in the first place? Because, after I left school, most people were like, what are you doing in your life? What are you doing in your life? But now a lot of people know that for the past year plus, Phage has been doing stand-up comedy. And they haven't met me yet, but they know what I'm about. I met a comic from the UK last year, and we've been in touch for a while now. We met just once, but we are able to monitor each other's progress of social media.
Absolutely.
And when I have something coming up, I tell him. He tells me. He gives me. Look, so there's this conversation back and forth, and all on Instagram.
Yeah.
I met this guy just once, but we're like brothers.
Yeah.
Well, so if peradventure, if I have to go to the UK at any time, I know that there's somebody I can reach out to, and all this is something that happened
just amazing.
off the internet.
It's doing great things. Yeah.
For me, I think it's been more of good for me because it's basically put a lot of people have seen my video even before they saw me. 2015 was when I did something with one of my protege, also Damola, where he went. I was even the one that promoted it. It was the church that promoted it. It was a testimony of comparison of how you do a testimony in 2 minutes and how an elderly woman does a testimony, and it went viral. But at the same time, when it went viral, we also had content to put out. Because we wanted to go viral to be sure that you can repeat the things you've done. Because people, it goes viral, and after watching it, and what do you have to offer? What do you have to offer?
Yeah.
So it's an advantage also. If you're not careful, it could be a disadvantage to you. What it does is, especially for the skit makers, those guys that do the skit and then you see it in 1 minute and you're all over.
Yes.
You need to also find time to know that they are skit makers also. They could be also funny. I've seen people say, they are good on Instagram, but live, they know their strength. I do the SWOT analysis, your strength, your weakness, your opportunity, and your threat. I know where my strength is. I know where my opportunities are. I started in church, but I've involved beyond the church. I do comedy in church easily. The kind of jokes that I do, I make people laugh without talking about them, making jest of them. So the social media helps you very well. I've been to some countries in my life where I never imagined. I got an all-expense paid trip to Manchester from a video that went viral on the internet. So it's a lot of good, but at the same time, if you're not careful, it could cause a lot of damage. For every good thing, there's always...
absolutely. You just mentioned there, you said something there about kind of making fun,
people,
making fun of people. And it's interesting because recently we did a show, an episode called Don't Call Me Mama. And the inspiration for that was because I'd gone along to this conference, and the MC, and it's not the first time it's happened to me, and the MC basically, he was letting us know that they needed we were running late, and he needed us to wait another 30 minutes before they could start. Meanwhile, he said all the speakers were ready. And so he was seeking the audience's agreement to hold on for another 30 minutes. And I had a look on my face that was confused, which is, you say everybody is ready, but you want 30 minutes. Why do we have to? Do you understand? And so he asked, he said, does everybody agree that we wait? And, you could hear people say, yeah. Not wholeheartedly. But my face just remained as it was. And he said, Mama, you didn't say yes. And I said, don't call me Mama. So I used that and I was telling you earlier, so I used it as an inspiration to have this episode that we did recently. But anyway, the thing I wanted to say was that I often find, and maybe you have a comment on it, I don't want to miss the opportunity to give real comedians the opportunity, obviously background in comedy, MC, because this guy was actually an MC to be honest, to compare, to respond. But one of the comments I made to the panel was that I do find that and it's happened to me about 3 times or so, I'm in an environment where there's an MC, and I can see them looking, and I know they're going to do this mummy joke or mama joke, and I'm like, where is the tact, the ability to read the room that says, the way I'm seeing this person, if I say this thing, it will not go down well. Do MCs bother? Do comedians bother to actually read the room?
You should, ideally. You should be able to study body language.
Study your audience, know that you can actually do jokes around yourself. That's why I say I find it very, very easy to do jokes around myself. And then basically pick words from one of the things the speaker said. So I'm beyond those cracking jokes. I'm noting some of the things that is being said even before I come up. So if I pick up those points and I refer them. I had an event on Friday and I referred them. This guy said he met his wife. He met his father-in-law in 1982. I wasn't born then. And then I got on stage and I said, I'm going to refer to. So I refer to. And then when you're referring to people, they remember.
Yeah.
And then when you refer to them, got to their attention, you talk about yourself.
Yeah.
I've gone to an event where a man was trying to, wanted me to say something about him, but I wasn't doing it. And, that's when it dawned on me that I need to stick to what I want, So it was basically, the banter. He wanted us to do it, but I wasn't doing it. I was doing my joke, and then at the end, he just said, I was expecting you to do that. I said, I don't do that. And then he gave me an envelope. It was very slim, and you know how this envelope, he doesn't let me open it now. And I got into the car, and it was $200. He put in $200 there, and then it dawned on me and said, imagine I responded to the banter. And as comedians, we have a lot of things to say. We have some jokes that we've not used in the past.
He was just testing you.
He was testing me. So I never knew from anywhere.
Wow.
I didn't, and then he gave me $200, and then I said, wow. So I've missed $200.
So he was testing you to see if
what type of
what kind of.
That's really interesting.
He just told me, give me a few minutes, and then he went to the car. I gave him my card, because he said, how come you were not? And then I said, I don't do that kind of jokes. I don't do it because I've been paid to make people laugh, not make people feel bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my job.
I love it.
It's a service I'm ready.
Yeah.
I've gone just beyond just cracking jokes.
Yeah.
It's a service I'm ready because anytime I do this,
I get you.
there's money in exchange for it.
I get you.
So,
Phage, 2020. What's up?
Let me start by saying 2019 has been...
Meanwhile, you're going to get older by year.
Exactly.
How young say you're talking?
No, I'm always... You see,
Always
the
young.
age is relative. It depends on who you're comparing yourself to.
Yes.
Yes, so I'll always be young. Yes, I'll
I
always
love
be
it.
young.
I'm with you.
Exactly. So 2019 has been an amazing year for me. Great year. I got to perform on very big platforms that I never imagined. I mean, I had the opportunity to make like 3,000 people laugh.
Ooh.
And I've been doing comedy for less than 2 years. So that's amazing, right? So going forward, I know 2020 is going to be an even greater year. So I'm going to strategically position myself to be ready for bigger opportunities. So I already started writing or building the jokes I'm going to use next year.
Brilliant.
And there was something SACO mentioned about creating platforms for, like, beyond using other people's platforms, create your own platform. So I teamed up with a couple of friends of mine, and we were able to stage our own concept show. And I'm selling this idea to other young comedians like myself. A lot of times we have to wait for people to organize shows for us to come, but there are things you can do in your own little environment. Get your friends together. So that's all I'm doing in 2020. I want other people to do stuff like that. I want to support other people to do stuff like that. And if they can make money from it, fine. If they can't, but at least let's start putting out, because document it and
document it. Possibly pay a good video person to
exactly
do, because you don't know who's going to buy the content. You don't know who's going to see the content up online. You go to outside the country, sometimes they don't even ask about your Instagram. They ask you what's your YouTube channel.
YouTube.
They ask you what's your YouTube channel. So don't wait until who is watching my video. Create those videos, put them out, so that put them out, and then when the opportunity comes, they come.
And the content's there. This is what I do.
It even always works. I don't know anybody who knows about Femi bags. She's into leather bags, and she does high end quality bags. And why she came up with the name Femi bags was just because she thought, yes, Gucci is a name, and all of those things. Louis Vuitton is somebody's name. So I mean, let me do Femi bags. But what I'm saying about her right now is whenever there's a show, she's usually part of a fashion show, this show, and she thought, these things were not really selling her per se, and then she kept waiting, and then all of a sudden she decided to have a leather show. And so just because she had
taken the learning from all those
so she started a leather show, and I tell you, the first show, it was attended by cobblers and all of those things, because she couldn't really even gather people to come, but like SACO said, the content, the video and everything, they put it out there, and that's how the Ministry of this started calling the Ministry, and it's now becoming another thing. I think they just had their third, but I remember that's how they started. So stop waiting. I think I'm also, this is just an affirmation that we must maybe I should do a meet show. You understand? I mean, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. I mean, let's create. Let's create something. Let's be the creators,
I just really love this idea. I'm so sorry I interrupted there.
It's
this
okay.
idea of because what everybody is talking about is creating their own table.
Yes.
You know, I attended an event, and one of the things that the panel discussions was about, how do you break, as a woman, how do you break the glass ceiling, you know, to get into the space of existing environments that you want to be part of. And one of the responses was, even if you can't get in there, create your own.
Yes.
Create your own opportunity, create your own environment, you know, and thank God for social media, thank God for YouTubes and all these kind of things. You know, it's giving you the platform to, if you're ready,
Yes.
you can shine. We were talking about podcasting earlier, and it's so easy now to record your podcast, edit it, and put it out there, and it's there. Anybody, all you now need to do is get people to see it. But you know, it's just amazing. So you know, nothing is impossible. You can, if you're ready.
Yes.
And if you're ready to strategize, you must strategize.
Deliberate strategy.
Yes.
Collaborate.
Power of collaboration.
Yes.
I said to you, apart from the fact that I do this, I delved into a travel agency last year, and I'll say to you, it came as an idea, and it says, look for comedians, look for entertainers that haven't traveled before out of the country, and then encourage them. He says, and that's what I had. He said, encourage them to travel, because the truth is, some people do not even see themselves traveling out of the country. It's so bad. When I say, do you have an international passport, they're asking, now me, they get international passport. And then I did the first one, and then we had about 7 of us in October. And then it came again very strong. I did another one in March. We had about 9 to 10 people.
Wow.
And then in June, we had about 12 people.
Yeah.
Guess what? In September, we had 32 people.
Wow.
Because when I did it, I didn't see any. I kept on booking my flights, because the plan was, when you get more people, you take the flight, you take the extra.
Yeah.
And it was when I did the 4th one, when I was thinking about the 4th one, it says collaborate, and I had the word collaborate, and I called an actress,
It's a powerful
friend of mine, and I said, you know what? You get me 10 people, I take care of your flight, your hotel, and everything, and then she was the one. She has over 2-point-something million on her Instagram, and then she put it up. And 32 of us. So while with the lady, we went with 30 people to Dubai for 5 days, and it dawned on me, collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely powerful. I've always believed
the same ideas, and they are very open with them. Yes,
that is the other thing.
Because that's how that.
Listen, you know what? We could talk about this thing. That is another thing as well, because trust. You know, at the end of the day, nobody can do you better than you. Yes. Don't be afraid to speak out. Because actually, until you are speaking out, there are so many people, ideas in themselves are nothing unless you execute. And most of the time, you can't always do these things all the time solo. You need to be ready to share.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes. And speaking out at times doesn't have to even be talking. Like, I'm on this platform, not necessarily by speaking out. It was just pictures.
Yeah.
You know, the person who introduced me to Flora just constantly sees my pictures, and, you know, just the moment she sees my pictures, she just tries to engage me.
Yeah.
And she knows that, oh, I keep doing this over time. So, you know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah,
you know, if you just, you know what you're doing, just do it for the fun of it, not necessarily because you want to.
We're venturing into a different, but anyway, guys, it's been amazing. Listen, so I think it's been more than a Christmas special.
Yes.
It's been so much more than that, and I really hope that people have been inspired, they've been entertained, and they've kind of unpicked a lot more of what's happening with you guys behind the scenes, which is amazing as well. So I think let's leave it here, and let's wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
And 2020 is going to be your year.
Yes.
If you thought this year was it, you wait till 2020.
Yes.
Guys, take care. Bye.
Bye.